What's up, guys? How's everybody doing today? Got everything moved around in here, trying to get stuff in order. All right. First one, Robert Stewart. What's going on? How's it going, buddy? Bob, Joe, how's it going? I know we're doing another live stream. It's been nice getting to be home here for a little bit and getting to kind of play around. And, a lot of times I'm in such a rush, when packages show up and things going on, that I'm just trying to get cars fixed to just go out and make some content. And I've actually been getting to be home and have a little fun and do a few more lives here while we're kind of messing around with stuff. Today we're going to be doing two different things. We're going to be doing the two upgrades on the Traxxas Max V2. We recently did some other stuff to this thing, but I'll show you what we got for this thing. I'll bring you guys overhead. There we go. Got that selected. So we got from Hot Racing the front caster blocks and the front steering blocks and the aluminum on these things, because these have been breaking left and right. I broke one already. I had another one pop out once. So I just ordered all of this. So I stopped breaking these things and having this problem, because it's one thing I'm kind of nervous about, especially with the cold time, is snapping these things. So I decided we're going to put the Hot Racing version on here and do that. What's our Island RC Duke? How's it going? We're also going to do this. Try and get this stuff out of the way. I just had some mail delivery show up. Never got to play this little game. What's in the bag? There's no box, so we got what's in the bag. I gotta turn this light down a little bit. It's a little too bright, I think, for overhead. But how is everybody doing today? What's going on, Garage Life? How's it going, bud? So I know what a couple of these things are. We also got a package here from M2C Racing, so see what's in this one. Some stuff I think is the Creighton 8S parts to hopefully get this thing back together, because I've been waiting for A-arms and a few other miscellaneous pieces so I can get this front end back together on the Creighton 8S. Bored at work. Yeah, it's usually the common, why can't work be somehow fun? Is it just, the word work? Is it because you got to be gone and away from home and your fun and toys? I don't know. But we're going to open up a few of these packages here and go through these things real quick, because I don't even know what's in all these. Alright, well, we got all of our RPM A-arms now for the Creighton 8S. Like I said, this is the first time I'm putting any of the RPM A-arms on, any of my 5th scale Armas. So hopefully these things hold up pretty well and don't start causing a lot of drive shafts popping out and all that good stuff. So we can get the A-arms back on the car, which is good. What else do we got in here? Trying to peek in at the comments here as I'm going. Thanks for posting about the scammers. They almost had me do... Yeah, Patrick. Man, that whole thing really was a bummer, honestly. The scammers had to get a hold of that, and I'm still trying to figure out if I'm going to do just another video, or, I honestly thought about doing it during a live stream. But the problem is, I know a lot of people can't be in here during a live stream, because I kind of wanted to do it very off the cuff, and just, I honestly thought about doing something as just goofy as writing a number on a piece of paper between, say, 1 and 100, and everybody in the comments try to guess the number, and I would do the number ahead of time, and then whoever guessed it right, hold it up, and that's who won the Everest. I honestly thought about just doing something kind of fun like that, but I know it's kind of unfair when everybody's not in here at the live stream, so I would like to do it that way, honestly. I think it'd be more fun. Beast Mode, how's it going? Just ran my X-Max and my Outcast 8S in 20 degrees and didn't last. Uh-oh, what broke? What did you break, Garage Life? So these are the front upper hinge pins for my Typhon 6S. Because one of the last times I had crashed it, they're in there, but but one of my pins are bent really badly, and it wobbles trying to thread it in there. And I have some upgrades coming. Could be in this other package. Some upgrades coming for the Typhon. So I didn't want to put bent front upper hinge pins in there. So I got new ones so that I'm starting fresh with that. What do we got in this one? There's another Creighton 8S part. This is this top steering block that also holds the two upper hinge pins. The upper A arms, because this side of it snapped off too. And this was one of those things I ordered everything, and then as I tore the whole front bulkhead apart, I found this also broken. So I think we're going to have a lot of the stuff to put the old Creighton 8S back together again, guys. Car has been a lot of fun. It's always sad when it's broken. Just, what did you got? What's your current favorite RC that you own, and what is one that you would like to own? Well, looking forward. Well, we got this bad boy back here now that I haven't got to run, the new Mojave. And we did a live unboxing yesterday on this thing. Last night, sorry, I just realized I had the wrong camera up, guys. But anyway, we got this bad boy. And did the unboxing on it yesterday. I haven't got to run it yet. However, last night I did a little bit of tuning on it while I was kind of messing around with some stuff. I did a few different things. Number one, I put a couple pieces of the Flex Seal tape on the insides here, because it seems the inside of these things break a lot, and you're always grabbing a hold of this to rip this Velcro loose. And I had a feeling that, especially during the cold winter months, it would help give some support in here. So I put that Flex Seal tape, which just sticks to anything, on the insides here, and a couple pieces up here where the hood hits. I done that to it, and then while I was tearing stuff apart, and I was, which way to go here? And while I was messing around in here, I started doing a couple other things. I know up here, these upper body mounts were a weak spot, so I took pieces of this map that was extra pieces of this pit map. I folded them up real tight and jammed them underneath the front supports here and put a zip tie in either one. So now it's got some cushion and something else to support these. Mounted up the other plug in here. I decided not to cut it off. I usually do, but I didn't cut it off this time. I decided to mount it inside here out of the way. You also notice it has red center supports now. I had these from an EXB, from something else, the Outcast, I don't even know what they were. But I put the aluminum center braces, the EXB ones, on here, and I put Loctite on them. I cranked the punch up on the ESC to, I think, level 7. I think it goes to 9, and I turned it up to 7. I also did change the gearing. I didn't put the optional gearing on this thing, the 20 tooth. It has a 16 on there. I wanted to put an 18, but I didn't have one. I had a 17. So I threw the 17 in there. It only went up one tooth, but it'll help it a little bit. I have an 18 and a 19 coming, but for now, that's what I got in here. So I geared it up, turned the punch up, put these braces on here. I also linked this. Now, I got rid of the factory remote, and I linked this receiver to my DX5 transmitter, so it's on my normal transmitter. And I also changed the shock oil. I was just feeling this and doing a couple little drop tests here, and it was way too soft. I mean, I know it's supposed to be plush, but it's still very nice. Stock in this thing, I think it was 40 weight, or like whatever it is, 4 something CST. I went up to, what did I put in this thing? Was it 60? Yeah, I put 60 weight in it. So I went from whatever it is, 35 to 40 weight to 60 weight, and it just feels beautiful. Really nice. I know I'm going to be launching this thing and beating on it, so I just kind of beefed up the suspension a tiny bit on it. So I think that was it. Kind of went over everything on the car. Made sure everything else was good, but she's definitely ready for its first rip, guys. And we got some snow outside, and I'm hoping to maybe take this thing out. I was going to do it today, but I had other things I had to do today. I was helping a sister move and stuff like that. So I'm hoping to take this thing out maybe tomorrow. I honestly want to go out and just like drift it around and rip it around in the snow. I think it'll be a really fun car for that. So that's the plan, but that's the changes I did make to the Mojave. I haven't even drove the thing yet, but that's what we got changed on it so far. What's going on, Big Al's? Are you? Oh, I know. I'm sorry. I got completely sidetracked on that question, and I apologize. I do that a lot. What was my favorite car, and what would I want to get next? As far as just all around bashing at motocross track and skate parks and stuff like that, I absolutely love my Italian hoagie. That's what I call it. The Italian EXB is what I have, but I have the Maxx 6 combo in there with the 1650 motor, and I have the D-Boots 4S backflips on it. And that car just flies. I mean, I love the Typhon, but the Italian is kind of like a perfect world because it's got that extra clearance. Like I think we were talking about this last night. Overall, as far as just overall being able to just beat the snot out of it, the Italian is definitely my favorite car. Looking to the future, you know, I've been looking at some different things and getting something completely different. And I know, and I didn't mean to step over, because I know also Dave over in Hardcore RC, he was live today, or might be still live. And I was talking to him about this on his live stream, because he recently got a Losi 5T. And I'm seriously considering getting something gas. And I was looking at one of those Losi 5Ts up at the indoor track I was at the other day when I was running the Techno EB48. And I'm seriously considering one of those because I have the space to run it. You know, I have the motocross track that would be a great place for that thing. You know, for the size, the openness, and being able to really rip that thing. I think it'd be a fun place to run that thing. So I've considered one of those. Besides that, you know, I don't know. I want to do another build, like I was saying. I want to do some sort of other build of something during this winter time. I'd like to do another build, like another Techno or something. I'm not sure what. Arma, this coming Thursday, from what I understand, is releasing a new car. So who knows? That's going to be very interesting to see what that's going to be. So who knows? You know, there could be something really cool coming from them that will be immediately, I got to get that. So I guess we will see. But yeah, I mean, as far as my favorite right now, I mean, I love the X-Max. That thing is a blast. My Outcast 8S is a blast. But just, like I think I mentioned this, like I said, if I had to pack up one car right now and go out for a bash with somebody, I would take the Italian. And that's just my preference. Trying to check out some of the cars. What's going on here? Try different springs. Yeah, I'm going to see Beast Mode, how I like the suspension on this thing. Those springs are very soft, I noticed. I mean, these things are super plush springs, so I might need to change those out at some point. 4S line. As far as the 4S line, you know, well, I mean, obviously, Arma doesn't really have any 4S right now. They were supposed to. As everybody was all excited about this whole entire summer, was that everybody thought Arma was going to drop a new 4S line, you know, improve, you know, new Creighton 4S and Outcast 4S, and obviously all of that, you know, went down the tubes. At least, who knows? I mean, there could be something else coming out, but my Big Rock is 4S, but technically it's a 3S car, but it is running on 4S. As far as 4S goes, I mean, the only thing I have that is 4S that, you know, I have a lot of fun with is this Maxx so far. And I'm doing a few little upgrades to that, and that's what we're going to be working on today, is putting on some hot racing sea carriers and steering hubs on this thing and doing that. So, as far as the 4S line, yeah, I mean, I love my Big Rock 4S, and the Maxx so far has been a ton of fun. And I dropped this thing out of the air into cold weather, and she's been holding together. Other than these C hubs and the steering rods, she's been holding tough. And now I got the aluminum steering links on there, so those shouldn't break as easy. And now with this, it should be pretty decent. At least that's the plan, right? What new are... Well, hello. Yeah, I know, Chad Davis. 3 days in a row, right? I go without live streaming for a while because I had told you guys, man, my work schedule was beyond abnormal. You know, I mean, a lot of normal people get to go to work from 9 to 5 or whatever and come home every night. You know, my schedule is I might leave on, you know, I'll leave and be gone for anywhere sometimes between 4 and 14 days. I'll be gone and on the road all over the country. I might be then come home for a day, 2 days, and leave again. I might be home for a week. It's all over the place, but right now we got a nice little transition break, and so it's nice. I actually get to enjoy some time here and do some lives, and I'm hoping I'm not driving anybody crazy with the live streams. I just figured, hey, I'm going to be down here working on this stuff anywhere, and I enjoy chatting with you guys, so I'd bring you along. Techno Orange are a bit stiffer. The Techno Orange, okay. Are they the right length if they're already the right length? I'm talking to you, guy on a moose. What else is going on here? I remember you hated. Yes, Garage Life. I absolutely hated the Italian the first time I rode that thing. I wanted to just, if I could have ever returned a car immediately, it would have been that car. And now I'm glad I didn't, because the car is awesome. It just needs some changes out of the box. The stock tires, those Qatars or whatever they are, tires that come on those things, those belted things, unless you're just driving around on the pavement and the grass, you just chuck those things in the trash, because those Qatars are just terrible for air control. If you're going to jump it, you got to have something with a little bit more meat on there. And those 4S backflips are awesome for that. So, yeah, a few tweaks on it, and it's now become pretty much my favorite car, oddly enough. What's going on, Chris Stevens? How's it going, buddy? Big Rock 4S by Arma. You know, who knows what they're going to do. I'm really curious to see what the new car is going to be. You know, this is just what I've heard, you know, little bits and pieces. I have no idea what the car is or anything. I just heard that there is a new car being released. So, I'll be curious to see what it is. I mean, who knows? It could be something completely new and completely different. It could be a larger version of something else. It could be a 5th scale Typhon, you know, or something like that. Or maybe a Big Rock 4S. You know, that'd be awesome if they actually made the Big Rock 4S. That'd be kind of cool, too. I wouldn't mind seeing that. I'll instantly buy one 5th Typhon. Guy on a moose. Me and you will be in line at the hobby shop first. I mean, I love my Typhon. And honestly, if they made that in a 5th scale, that could probably be a lot of fun. That would definitely be an awesome car. You imagine, you know, a 5th scale Typhon with, you know, a Maxx 5 combo or something in there. That thing would just fly. That'd be a good time. They make various links. Just order what's closest. All right. What's going on, Dalton? How's it going, bud? What would I like to see come from Arma? Right now, honestly, you know, there's a lot of fun in the 4S. I would love to see something else, maybe in the 4S, but I don't know, some sort of a buggy. You know, I'm not even sure how to describe it. Kind of like the low-C Tenacity, I think it is. Yeah. The low-C Tenacity. Something like that. But kind of more of an Arma build, kind of, if that makes any sense. You guys know what I'm saying? Like, more put together like an Arma. But something along those lines would be kind of neat. Or the 5th scale Typhon would be really awesome. So, those would kind of be what I would like to see. But I guess we'll find out here in a couple days. Few days, actually. More than a few days. Today's only, Friday? Yeah. We got a while. A 1/5 scale E-Revo. Well, now we're talking Traxxas. But what was the last thing as far as an actual whole new model has Traxxas released something? You know, I mean, I know like they have the Maxx and the Maxx V2 and stuff like that. But what was the last completely new style car that Traxxas released? And how long ago was that? Does anybody know? What upgrades am I doing? We are working on the Maxx, and we are doing I got the hot racing aluminum caster blocks, the C-hubs, and the steering blocks for this thing, because these are always a common thing breaking on this thing. So we're going to get those changed out. In fact, I'll bring you guys back overhead. This is a package from M2C Racing, so these are always exciting to open up. Oh boy. Look at all this aluminum beautifulness. These are all of the pieces that I broke. Well, minus a couple things. Minus just these. These are the extensions. Actually, I got these to put on the Mojave to widen it out a tiny bit. These are the M2C Racing Typhon Mojave 17 millimeter hub extenders. So you guys, this goofy camera is so bright the way the light is. I got a new camera coming, guys, so this shot, the wide shot especially, is going to get a lot better here very soon, because I know the contrast is a little bit off and I'm not real happy with it. So the cameras are going to be getting better, I promise. I'm going to turn this down so you guys can actually see this better. But anyway, I got these for the Mojave, so we might actually put these on tonight too, depending on how long everybody wants to stick around or all this. But I got these for the Mojave to widen it out just a tiny bit. I just like that wider stance, especially on the trucks and things. So we got those for that. And the rest of this is all of the stuff that I broke on the Kraton 8S. We got the 8SC block, the 8SB block, the front and rear lower hinge pin brace. So those new blocks. And then also this, which is what I'm dreading tearing apart and changing, because this is the goofy piece that mounts onto the motor mount. So to change this out, I got to tear the whole entire center of the drivetrain out in order to split that so I can get this monitor, because they decided to put the screw in from this side instead of this side. Why is beyond me, other than just to maybe drive somebody crazy. I don't know. I should have just changed this out a long time ago. I didn't. So that's what we're looking at. Vortex 6S. You know, I wouldn't be surprised, but honestly, I mean, it's kind of, you're moving right back into a Talon and, you know, a Kraton 6S. I mean, the Vortex, I mean, if you're going to go 6S, they're going to be probably just going aluminum chassis again. So it's like kind of, I don't know, it seemed like they'd be kind of beating a dead horse with making the Vortex 6S, but who knows? I mean, you know, a lot of times everybody comes up with these guessing games of what they're going to release, and they think they know what they're going to release, and it comes out to be something completely different. So, who knows, right? Yeah, see, I'm with you, man. Those low-C tenacities and the DB Pros or whatever they are, I might be saying two different things. But I know it's the tenacity, but that whole kind of desert buggy thing, I really love the look of them. But I'm not super impressed with the durability of the low-Cs. So if Arrma kind of took their durability and made it into one of those, I think it could be a really fun car. Recently got some paddles for my Traxxas. You know, I've been wanting to get, my hobby shop, my local place, Playthings, etc., they actually just got some paddle tires in, he told me. And I'm thinking about throwing them on one of the Kraytons or something like that and having some fun. But anyway, guys, this is going to be, honestly, I'm probably just going to put the Kraton 8S back together again in my free time, because all of it's going to take some time putting Humpty Dumpty back together again. I got pieces and stuff ripped apart everywhere. I got to rebuild everything. But we got some beautiful M2C Racing parts here now to get this thing back together and not have this problem. And I also got the M2C Racing hinge pins now, so they're the proper pins for all of this. So that front end with the M2C chassis and all of this thing should be pretty bulletproof now. I mean, granted, nothing is bulletproof against the telephone pole at full throttle, but it should definitely help, I will say that. I also did get a Hot Racing diff case. And these guys, if anybody is wondering, you know, I get asked a lot, oh, what's the best upgrade you do to a 6S? A lot of people want to do this and that. This right here is your best upgrade to do to any 6S car. The hot racing, or whatever one you like. If you want to do the Vital, geez, man, I can't talk. You guys know what I'm saying. But replacing that rear differential case and putting an aluminum one on there, it saves those rear diffs, and stripping and ripping those things apart. This is the best thing to do to a 6S car on the Armas, is put the aluminum diff case on the rear of it, because it will save you a lot of headaches. Every car that I have upgraded to and put the hot racing differential case on the back, I honestly don't think I have ever ripped apart or stripped another diff gear or pinion in that car since doing it. You put the aluminum diff case and shim it, you're pretty solid. You don't really run into too many problems from there on out. What's up, Jeremy? How's it going, buddy? Your stickers should be, they're on their way. Yeah, I agree, Brad. I'd love to see a fifth scale Typhon. I think it could be pretty awesome. It's making a crawler. Yeah, I mean, the crawlers are definitely, I mean, they're getting their popularity for sure. But again, I don't know, because they're part, you know, Axial and them are part of Horizon and all of them. And I don't know if Arma would bother trying to get into that side of it, since, you know, Axial's already kind of taking most of that stuff. But, I mean, who knows? I mean, everybody's got their own versions of cars, every company and every brand. So I guess it doesn't really matter. But I guess we'll see. What do we want to do first? Do we want to do the upgrades to the Maxx or widen the Mojave? Would you guys rather sit here and watch while you're bored at work or doing whatever you're doing? What's going on, Josh? How's it going? See which ones you guys either do the Mojave widening kit, or we're going to do the Maxx. We're going to probably do both, but which ones we want to work on first? I ordered the diff case aluminum because the stock one broke. Yeah, the stock ones do break easy. I ordered this rear aluminum one. I was originally going to put it on the front of the Talion. However, now that I have the Mojave, this is probably going to go on there. Probably just going to swap out the Mojave rear diff case and put this on that is what I'll end up doing, because it's the best thing for the cars. Armour said they would never make a crawler. You know what, Riker? I remember hearing something about that they said that they will never get into crawling. I mean, Arma is about, you know, bashing and speed and stuff like that. They seem to like those two worlds. The street bashing, runs and stuff like that, like more of just the faster pace stuff is what I kind of always associate Arma with. You guys probably know what I mean by that. But I don't see Arma getting into crawling either. That would be weird, honestly, but who knows? You know, maybe they want to dip into that side. Don't tell my boss I'm watching this on the toilet. Well, Jess, I appreciate you dropping in for your bathroom break there before you leave for work, or leave work. You always have to wait until you go to the bathroom until you get to work. You know, you got to do that stuff on company time. All right, well, we're going to tear the Maxx apart, I think. I'll bring you guys overhead here so you guys can see this side. Let me know how you guys see it on this stream, if everything seems bright enough. Because versus, you know, OBS software that I'm looking at, you know, running the different cameras and all this stuff, it always looks different versus when I see it on camera. I mean, looking at my phone, it looks kind of dark, I guess. So, we can brighten this up a little bit. See, yeah, that looks a little better for me. Yeah, fifth scale Typhon. Yeah, I would probably agree with you, Guy to Moose. An Arma crawler, I don't think fits their company, you know, image, I think. You know, Arma likes their bashing, and they like doing this stuff. So I would probably agree with that. That they're not going to get into that world. I highly doubt it. Meaties RC guy. Hello from Montreal. How's it going in Montreal? Is it nice and cold and snowy there too? I'm sure it is. So, let's see here. We got the left C block, so we'll save that aside. And then here is the right. Really nice pieces. Hot Racing makes some nice aluminum upgrades for this stuff. As far as chassis and all the other stuff, I mean, really love the M2C chassis and all the parts. And just stuff like all the steering block stuff that I got. Just beautiful work. Beautiful work. So we'll get these pieces all together. This is the right. So that's the left side. I guess there's no... Oh, there's the hardware. I'm going to say there had to be a couple screws with this. So, got those two. We got a right. Where's the lettering? And a right. So, should have something along... Well, they should, guess we'll see how they fit up with that. Oh, the fitment. Everything feels really good. Sorry, I'm sitting here messing around with this thing and you guys can't even see. But all the fitment of everything feels really nice. Cold, yeah. I'm sure it's got to be cold there too. It's cold everywhere. It's freezing outside. I mean, we got snow. We got, I don't know, a couple inches of snow outside. And it's quite chilly. I want to take the new Mojave out, but I'm going to hopefully get it out tomorrow. Like I said, I don't want to go out and rip or beat on it, you know, bash the heck out of it the first time in this cold, because I know I'll just end up breaking stuff. But I do want to take it out, so that's why I'm considering just taking it out and just doing some drifting and ripping around a snowy parking lot somewhere. I think would be kind of fun just to rip around in that thing personally, but that's what I'm thinking about doing tomorrow with it. I think it could be fun. Put paddles. Yeah, I got to get paddles. Part of my problem is I don't have any paddles right this second. I got to go down to my hobby shop and get some. So I'll have to do that in the next day or two. Because it would be kind of fun just to rip around with the paddles. There's no retaining clip on this thing, is there? Man, this thing is tight. Jeez. Usually they slide off relatively easy. Not this one. Hoping you guys can see what I'm doing here, actually. I'm going to try to move it over here a little bit. So, the bearings and everything else fit in here normal. That feels pretty good. We're going to get the front bearing out. I like to kind of get everything put together a little bit before getting the rest of it in there. There we go. So what's everybody doing? Is everybody hanging at home or everybody sitting on the toilet at work? What does everybody else want to see from Arma? Is there anything completely off the wall that, you know, we're not really thinking about that somebody wants to do? Man, that pin does not want to seat in there. It is tight. It looks like it's centered. Man. I'm actually going to have to tap this, I think, with like a socket. I just don't think it's broken in yet. The pin's actually still tight, amazingly enough. There we go. Man, that locking pin in these guys, the seat into the plastic hub, that thing is snug. It's like a snap fit in there. Usually, you know, they just slide right in, but not that one. What is going on, Trevor? What are you doing? They're worth it is the first thing. I love them. I'm about to grab some aluminum parts for my wide Maxx. Yeah. What are you going to grab for your wide Maxx? What tree? Home watching or upgrading. Well, that's not a bad place to be. Man, Riker, I'm jealous. 70 degrees and not a cloud in the sky. Yeah, it's definitely not like that here, that's for sure. It's like 25 degrees and snow in the air. But that's the price you pay here in the Northeast. Not really sure what the the good trade-off is, other than we don't deal with hurricanes and alligators and other weird creatures. But besides that, we deal with some pretty unfortunate weather. That's for sure. So, I'm going to get this pin to go line back up again, I think. Yeah, it does fit. You guys can see I've never getting used to tearing this thing apart and how it tears apart. There we go. Checking some comments here and there. I'm trying to poke in as I'm tearing this apart, but I'm going to kind of focus on this for a moment. All right. So far, everything is fitting up nicely. I'll be glad not to worry about breaking these anymore. It's like every time I've landed this car recently, I've kind of been like, just waiting for one of these things to snap, because after the first one breaking so easily, I was a little bit gun shy about really beating on this thing just because of that. But surprisingly, the last run in the cold, it actually didn't break. I was actually pretty impressed with it. Now, I don't think the spline has a certain way to line up, right? They all seem the same. Feels so weird, like the spline's kind of tight going into the drive shaft on these. Like it doesn't just slide in nice and easy like most of them. Now, there's got to be a direction to this thing, because it is definitely tight. It's like it's almost keyed. There it goes. There is just one certain way that it'll go. Now, I am going to Loctite these screws, the ones that come from Hot Racing here. I'm going to put some Loctite on these so that these don't back out and I start losing these, because it's always aggravating. So we're going to put some Loctite on these suckers so that I'm not having these falling out. Get the first one in here. So far, everything is fitting nicely. Got the top one. That plague player. Wait a minute. 2022, we're not dead. What is this going on? Keeps falling. I only bought an Arma because. What am I missing here? Charging battery tomorrow. Yeah, I mean, a rally car could be kind of interesting. What's your local time? What is the local time here? It is 5:21 p.m. Hello in Australia. How's it going? How's it going, mate? You know, there's so many things and so many people on YouTube channels that I watch also in Australia. It's funny. And I was honestly surprised how many people, when I look on my YouTube analytics, how many people are from Australia that actually are on this channel. It's really awesome. So thanks for watching, guys. I really appreciate it. Yeah, these will definitely need to dry. Those screws that thread into these, they fit really nicely. However, if you don't Loctite those things, they are definitely falling out. I can tell you that much. Because they are extremely smooth going in there. Now this steering arm is either going to be perfectly lined up or something. What do we got here? There we go. Man, everything is like extremely tight fit. There is no play whatsoever. But I appreciate everybody dropping in here tonight. I guess I better Loctite this too, or I'll end up losing this screw. I was going to remember, anything going into aluminum, you got to have the Loctite on it, or it will rattle and fall out. If it's aluminum but threading into plastic, you're okay. But if it's aluminum going through aluminum, yeah, you better Loctite. All right, well, there's one side. Come out quite nice. Everything fit up beautiful. Everything nice and tight. Like, there's no play in this thing at all. Feels really good. So, got one side down, ready to roll. Get my first ever nitro. You're grabbing a nitro. What nitro are you grabbing? That Plague player is... What, Jess, what was this Plague player about? I'm not sure what we were talking about. Or if I completely missed something. Mike Messman. Ohio, hey, neighbor. You're not too far away from me. What part of Ohio are you from? I don't know if you know where I'm at, but I'm here a little bit north of Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. So you got the same exact weather probably I do right now. Cold and snowy. Well, those fit up quite nicely. Pretty happy with that. Very easy to change out. So I guess these are the only two screws that I'm not saving. Or reusing, should I say. Massillon. What is that near? I know a lot of Ohio, and I've been through a lot of Ohio, but what other major city is that near? I guess now, the goofy camera. Bring you guys over here for a while. I'm sure everybody has seen this stuff being changed. Am I a Steelers fan? I watch the games very occasionally. I honestly don't watch any sports, to be honest with you. I used to. I used to be somewhat kind of into football and hockey and all that. But working in sports broadcasting for a living now, the last thing I do or want to watch is another sporting event when I'm home. So, I don't watch any sports now. Oh, the Pro Football Hall of Fame. Yeah, we've done some events there and shows at the Pro Football Hall of Fame. Minus 35 degrees Celsius here today, so windy too, yeah. But yes, I don't really watch any football or any sports anymore. I just, if family's kind of having a little get-together and a party, and the game's on, I'll sit there and watch the game with everybody and have a beer. But, yeah, I don't go out of my way to watch any sporting events. I mean, we have gone and done, football championships and all kinds of stuff, and people have asked me, "Oh, who won?" And I can't even tell. I couldn't even tell them, because honestly, when I'm there, I'm usually doing other stuff, and I don't even pay attention to it anymore. Just got burned out on sports, and I'm sure anybody can relate. Anything you do for a living, the last thing you want to do is bring it home too. It's just gets boring, So yeah, that's where I stand on sports. What other? I watched one sport, RC. Yeah, okay, well, you got me there. I will watch, I come across videos and stuff of, RC racing and stuff. I will stop and watch that. So I will, I guess there's one. All right, there's one. What's up, Andrew Lee? How's it going? Greetings. Probably getting into the later evening in the UK. You guys are, what are you, like 5-6 hours ahead of me? I think, if I'm anywhere close to being right. Which, not often am. Ontario? Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah, you're not far either. Are you behind a camera or in the truck? Not to get too personal. Wait a minute, what? Are you behind a camera or in the truck? I'm not sure what you mean, RC Garage Life. What did I miss? Oh, I'm sorry. I forgot what your question is. Who answered it? I'm in the truck. I am the engineer that runs the broadcast truck. Any of you guys that ever seen, like at a sporting event, you see those big 53-foot semi-trucks and the sides expand open. It's a giant mobile broadcasting studio on wheels, and I'm the engineer that runs it. I'm basically in charge of making everything work inside and kind of getting everything programmed and routing all the different video and audio signals everywhere. It's impossible to explain, to be honest with you, but it's fun. I love my job. I just don't pay attention to sports anymore. Alaska? I know you got some cold and snow. How's the... Brian from Franklin? Heck, you're really close. Yeah, Paul, same kind of goes. The only thing, and I guess maybe the thing is I don't consider it sports is another thing. I will watch motocross. I love watching motocross on TV. I still come across that a lot because I used to race. It's still kind of an interest, and it's more fast-paced, and it's just kind of a different, I don't know, it's a different experience. So I do watch motocross occasionally on TV if it's on. I do like watching that. So you have to replace all the bearings after a winter session on yours. Can you do the beep thing? What do you mean the beep thing? I'm not sure what you mean by the beep thing. You mean like beeping somebody out? The beep thing, I don't know. I'm going to wait and see what you're talking about with the beep thing. Because I'm not sure, to be honest. I mean, I could do more than the beep thing. I mean, I got control. I could shut the whole entire broadcast off with one push of a button. Oh yeah, the curse beep. No, that's a separate thing, and that all happens. I have set those machines up before. Now a lot of times, like the main signal leaves. Say we're doing, a football game. The signal leaves us, and it goes either over fiber, or satellite transmission to whatever network it is. And then a lot of times the network obviously will take it and have a slight delay in there, so that if there is something happening now, there is always a delay so that they can have time to cover or, bleep stuff or quickly go to a commercial a lot of times. After many of you seen like the debacle at the Super Bowl with, what was her name? From the Jackson, with her little top mishap. After that whole situation, it kind of got a lot more strict with making sure that there was always a delay and that they had delay so that they had moments to do that. All right, going home. Guys. Have a good one, Robert. Have a safe travels home, buddy. What's going on, Monster Jam? Yeah, that's what we're working on the Maxx here. We're putting all the aluminum, bring you overhead here for a moment again, but we're putting all the hot racing aluminum C-hubs and steering blocks in this thing and getting it all strengthened up a little bit so that I stop breaking the C-hubs, because there's nothing more annoying than breaking something like that on a day out, because it's nothing that's really quick and easy to fix a lot of times, so it kind of ruins your day, honestly. And you just kind of get, and go on to the next car. So, things like this, I do not mind doing the upgrades on, because if it can kind of save your day out there and lengthen your day of bashing and having some fun with the car, I don't have a problem doing upgrades like this. There's always a good place for the aluminum upgrades. Some things are overkill, and that's, again, in my opinion. Other things are not. It all depends on where and why you're putting them on there. Well, all right. Well, these went on a lot easier. I mean, I know there's not much to them, but they went on there a lot smoother than I even thought they would. Now I'm going to get a Loctite on these. And I guess we'll move on for a little bit and mess around with the new Mojave and put the new wider hubs on it. Because I definitely want to get those on there, and it'll be a little more stable. And they have double locking nuts so that the wheels stay on there a lot better. Yeah, the beefy upgrades. What's up, Bubbles? I don't know, if you just got in here, but how's it going, bud? Getting some Loctite on the steering screw here. I tell you what, guys, I have been going through a lot of Loctite lately. Between builds, after the Techno, and just rebuilding a lot of stuff. I mean, goofy camera. I can't wait to change this camera out so that I can take the other camera and move it. But, hey, she looked pretty snazzy. Come on, transition. Doesn't want to transition, guys. But there she is. Hubs come out really nice. Fit was really great. Everything fitted, mounted up there, beautiful. So now these things won't break. I ordered extra A-arms I already have for this thing. And got most of the little things changed out. Like I said, to any guys that don't know, I put the ESC from the X-Max in this thing. So it's still running on 4S. However, the ESC has got a lot more punch to it. Not a ton, but I would say it increased the power in this thing by about, 30%, 25, 30%. It just got a lot more oomph to it with that ESC in there. At some point, I might put a Maxx 6 in here, completely change out all the electronics. But for now, I had this ESC because I tore it out of my X-Max because I put the Maxx V2 combo in that thing. So I had the ESC laying around doing nothing. So I figured I'd try it out in here, and it's a direct bolt-in. It's the exact same size ESC as the Maxx, or the 4S one that comes with this car. So I figured I'd give it a try. But hey, we got the front all fixed up now with the new aluminum parts. So hopefully she will hold together better now. And during the winter time here, any little bit can help with not having things breaking. So we'll go ahead and get this thing hung back up. And then I'm going to bust out the Mojave, I think. I love my 2V1 Max everyone else bashers. Yeah. Love your channel, by the way. Thanks, Aaron. I appreciate that. Yeah, but 4-foot more stores. Oh, yeah, that's right. Yeah, jump over playthings. That thing went over pretty well. Playthings, etc. was running that, put together kind of a quick little video for Christmas time. And put that video out. And I was just down there talking with Tim, at the Playthings, etc. And he said there was a number of people coming in there, during Christmas and beforehand, and just people coming in, period, coming and asking and saying, what car jumped over this place? I want to buy that. So, it went over pretty well, I think. It was fun. But, now, I haven't even got to run this car yet, and we're just... I think these are good upgrades, though, to this thing. This isn't anything, it's just out of the norm. Definitely like the fact that I padded, but excited to get these hub extensions on here with the double locking nuts from M2C Racing. We're going to get these suckers on there. These things, I put these on the Typhon and just love them. I mean, they are awesome. So they got the double locking nuts on these ones, so you do not lose your wheels. Why does my mouse keep moving? Anyway, these got the double locking nuts with them, which is great, so that you can double lock them and you don't lose the nuts, especially on these things. When you start running these things and really ripping, I know a lot of people had these wheel nuts flying off these things left and right. It's kind of a big issue going on. So we'll get that changed out and make her a little wider at the same time. Been working on a door crawler course lately to combat. Yeah, an indoor crawler course. Those are fun. You got M2C stuff for the Creighton 6S upgrade. What Creighton 6S upgrade? I got a whole ton of stuff here for the Creighton 8S. All the new hinge pins and all that stuff came in my RPM A-arms. I got a whole pile of stuff here now of things I gotta... Most of it's for the Creighton 8S because that's the truck right now that requires the most amount of parts because it just got demolished from its head-on encounter with the pole. But yeah, I like doing that during the summertime down here, guys. Sorry. Down here in the garage, I will take, I have my truck outside, pull the truck outside, and I'll build some little jumps out of cardboard. Some nice little sturdy jumps and stuff. And I love just in here racing around the low C, the Mini T, and the Mini B, and just jumping them and cruising them around here in the garage. It's a lot of fun. I do that quite a bit during the wintertime whenever it's too nasty outside to go outside. I don't mind going outside in the snow and, breaking things, but when it's really, really cold and it's just plain miserable out there, I will avoid it. Put it this way, when you go outside and you can't have your hands outside your gloves for, oh boy, these are going to be these nut. Man, I don't know how much Loctite they have been putting on these center grub screws. But they need to lighten it up a little bit. Holy smoly. I mean, it's just ridiculous. Where did that pin just go? Alright guys, I just had my pin come out. Am I losing my mind? I know the pin came out, but it just totally vanished and I didn't even hear it. And I don't see it. Alright. How did that thing disappear? I don't see it anywhere either. That's kind of strange. Well, I think I have some more. I'm sure it's floating around here somewhere on the floor. But I don't. I'm going to take one peek under the bench here. It's usually where everything likes to slide to. But, it's brand new too. It should be shiny. Oh, there it is. Found it. I don't know how it ended up all the way back there either. That's kind of weird. So, can't wait for some... Yeah, me too. I can't wait for some Mojave bashing also. I can't wait to take this thing out there. Definitely going to be some fun. Like I said, I've driven one of these. It was Earl's. And I had a ton of fun with it. So it should be some fun. I know the cars, and they handle a lot differently. Somebody even mentioned this, I think, in one of the videos or during the live stream, but the Mojaves handle a lot different than like most of the cars do. They kind of have a little bit more of that floating type of handling, but yet they handle really well. Like it seemed like I noticed with it. Like they felt like they were all just kind of floating around, but they still took off quite nice. Oh. Okay, that's right. Yeah, these... I apologize, guys. I misspoke. I thought these were also the wider ones, but these are just the double... These are the extended hubs for the locking nuts, so that I don't have the nuts flying off. I completely misspoke. I first glanced at this, I was like, wait a minute. But these are just the extended hubs, so that I don't lose the nuts, so you can use the double locking nuts, which is fine because it's usually the biggest issue with some of these trucks. I've encountered a lot of people talking about this problem, so able to use the double locking nuts. I don't know. Many people widen these things. What's up, Tyrone Wally? How's it going? Robert Stewart, how's it going? Welcome back. Yeah, I figured to work on these couple things here, and then probably in the next day or two, I'm going to decide I'm going to get the ambition up to tear the Kraton 8S apart, or get the Kraton 8S all back together again, because it's going to require a lot more serious time in getting that thing pieced back together again. But I want to get that thing fixed back up again. I'm looking forward to... I've been having a lot of fun with the Kraton recently. You know, the car for a while, I was always kind of a little bit hesitant to really beat on that truck, because it always felt like everything was just going to break on it too easily, especially the chassis and those center braces, because all four center braces, I was constantly snapping the ends on those things, and it was driving me crazy. But after swapping out the upgrades on that thing and putting the M2C chassis on it, I mean, that thing's just been a blast now. I've been able to just launch that thing, and she don't care. Do you have the part number that you were installing? Yeah, these are the M2C, the M2C 3160. They are my camera's going to blow this all out, of course, so I'm going to turn this off for a second. But as you can see right here, anyway, yes, they're the M2C hubs. And like I said, they're the M2C 3160, the Armatyphon Mojave 17mm hub extender. So they will, extend those hubs out on any 17mm hub for that matter. Not just this, but any of the cars that, you're losing the nuts on these things and they're falling off because, maybe you're running extra power, especially. These allow you to run the double locking nuts so that they don't come off anymore. Which is definitely always a good thing. If I can get this one to seat, come on. There we go. Everything's fitting up nicely. I have 2 sides done. Get this sucker back together, and then I'm hoping to take this thing out tomorrow. I haven't got to drive it. I've been working on it. I've been working on it for the last 2 days. Between getting it out and doing the initial changes and stuff I've done to it. And now today, and I haven't even drove the thing yet. Don't say that, Jeremy. Don't say that. I'm hoping to have... Well, I can't say that because I would just be lying. Me and telephone poles and signs. Not even signs. I don't even hit too many signs. It's always telephone poles, trees, or porta-johns are usually the top 3 items I seem to like hitting. And I know, porta-john sounds like a weird thing, but the motocross track, it's oddly enough not a strange thing to hit because, of course, it's right beside one of the jumps I enjoy hitting and end up landing it into the side of the porta-john many times. Last night somebody was mentioning that the noise that it makes when you hit that porta-john with a Creighton 6S full speed, it's kind of interesting. Boom! Luckily, we've never had blue water flying around everywhere. Of course, I don't think there's any blue water left in that toilet, guys. There's a reason I have never filmed inside of that porta-john. And I'm pretty sure... Wait a minute, what's going on here? Yes, that's not the pole position we were talking about. Hitting telephone poles is the incorrect one. Not good. Yeah, I mean, like I said, I think the cars just have a natural magnetism towards Trevor's head. I'm not sure what it is. Or maybe he was like, in a past life, was maybe a kid that always just broke all of his cars and never fixed them, and now the cars are back trying to get their revenge on him. Maybe it could be something like that. We could make up a whole backstory to why the cars go after Trevor. We could make up a really fun story, actually. Oh, man, guys. Well, everything's going together. Easy. I really want to get... Nah, I'm definitely saving the Creighton 8S for another day. I ain't dealing with that tonight. I'm probably going to go upstairs after I get done with this and do a little bit of gaming. We get a hop on. Me and Trevor and a couple other buddies, we hop on Call of Duty together and sit there and chat and have some fun on there. It's usually a good time. Oh, jeez. Anybody else in here into playing any certain games? I don't really play many games. It's the only thing I play. And I honestly only like it because you can sit there and kind of chat with friends and just have fun. I don't really get into playing any other games. But I've always enjoyed Call of Duty for some reason. Ever since it came out, I've always enjoyed playing that with friends. Cars to be continued. Yeah, I am certainly not part of FaZe. I'm one of those people that 1 minute have a really great game, and then the very next game, I was nothing but target practice the entire time. There doesn't seem to be always a great in-between. It's always one or the other. Maybe pull. Alright. Get the last one changed out here. When we're done with this, probably tear apart. I'm going to run this thing for, a run or two before I change out this rear diff. I should probably just do it right off the bat. But honestly, I want to kind of take this thing out for a rip a couple times before I got to rip the rear differential off of it. But that will be where that differential case is going, is on this thing. Man, these guys have gotten out of control with the Loctite. I mean, there's so much spilling out on this thing that I can't even get this thing off because it's soaked the whole entire axle stub inside. It's gummed it all up. Was Trevor playing? Yeah, see, what Trevor likes to do is he goes into, we'll run into some building, he'll tick everybody off, and then he'll run and let everybody shoot me. I think that's his payback, maybe. I'm not sure. Now, there it is. I'm about to say, if I lost another pin, I'm not sure. What is this deal with this axle? It's like really gummed up. Does M2C make Maxx part? Not yet. And I say yet because I believe there is some talk. Now, you don't quote me on this, but last night there was some discussion on a couple parts that they, I think, are thinking about working on for the Maxx. So there's a fairly good possibility there will be some parts coming up for the Maxx, but I guess that's still kind of to be determined. Because there was a couple pieces that they were, I think, looking at that, could maybe work, with some good upgrades and some changes. So if that happens, and if there is, and if they do decide to release something, you guys will definitely see it here. And I can show you what's going on or what's being made. Because usually as soon as anything is made and trying to get put into being tested, I will get a hold of it and get to try it out and see how it works and what all modifications need. What any modifications. That's why they have, a number of the testers, a few of us that we get to run the stuff. Like, we went over a bunch of names, I think, last night. And I know I probably missed some guys, but, there's Rich Duperbash, me, RC Dude, Talbot, Thunder RC, Commander A Stig, and some guys that are all on the M2C test team. So it's fun. Kind of cool getting hold of some stuff and seeing what you can break, what you can't break. See here. What's going on, IRC Q&A? How's it going? Doing good. We've been working on the Maxx V2, and now we're putting on the extended hubs on the Mojave, so we don't have wheel nuts flying around on this thing. Because I know this thing isn't going to stay stock, guys. I'm going to keep the stock electronics in it here for a little bit, and see how they, hold up. They could, there's a lot of the Firma electronics. Either you put them in there and they last, 2 runs and then they go up in smoke, or they seem to last forever. It's always one or the other. Every piece I've had, in some of the cars, I can't seem to kill them. And other ones, on the first bash or two, they've died, and then I've just swapped them out. But we'll see how they continue to hold up, or how they hold up on the Mojave. But, well, we got the extended hubs on here. Got the aluminum center braces. It's geared up now. I got the punch turned up. And we got the little supports under the front and rear shock, or the body mounts. I got 60 weight oil in all the shocks, and it just feels really nice. It's got a nice, real nice feel to it. It feels like it's very kind of plush and soft, but it's just got a bit more. It's reacting a little slower and a little bit stiffer. So it feels pretty good. I think I'm gonna like it. We might have to stiffen it up more. And like he was saying in there, I might try out different springs, because these springs are very, very, very soft. I mean, they're some of the most flexible springs on any car I have felt. What's going on? Sorry, just kind of trying to catch up and see if there's anything new in the chat. I don't know if I missed anything. Sorry, guys. If there's anything that you guys or anybody was asking during this, please feel free to go ahead and drop the comment again if you're asking anything in particular that I missed. But I think this is going to be a fun truck. I think I'm going to have a lot of fun with this thing. The only thing I don't like is I seem to have a tough time getting the body lined up, and I don't know what it is. I'm always hitting either too far forward or too far back. And what kind of throws me off, honestly, is it doesn't seem like the body should cover the front bumper. But it does. It goes over half of the front bumper, so I think that's what keeps kind of throwing me off on that thing. I know some guys the other night were asking about shirts, and I had a couple messages. Everything in the merch store that I do have, as far as stickers and t-shirts, if anybody's interested in grabbing stickers or t-shirts, everything's going to get updated here so that all the t-shirts and anything in there all have the newer logo on them, because right now some of the stuff has the older logo, and they are updating that now and changing that, so we'll all have the newer stuff if anybody is interested, that is. I missed the Maxx portion of the show. Sorry, Tyrone. The Maxx, what we did was we put on the M2C, no, I'm sorry, the Hot Racing front C-blocks and steering blocks. So all that part that's usually one of the common pieces breaking on the front steering of the Maxx, we changed it out with all the aluminum Hot Racing pieces. So now hopefully the front end of the Maxx will hold together a little better. Also, I did a little bit of stuff last night on the Techno. This guy came back down last night, was messing around, and guys, I learned one very important lesson. So, when I ran this thing at the track, the very last few laps we ran, anybody that's seen the race tires, you guys can see, they have a very fine tread pattern, right? And as you guys can see, like here, it's all completely packed, right? So last night, I'm messing with this thing, and I found a bunch of stuff, and I was wondering, like partway through the night, it just wasn't handling right. It kept kind of not steering right. It kept oversteering, and I'm like, what the heck is going on? And I felt some stuff in the steering, and I thought I had figured everything out. However, last night, I started tearing apart the whole steering rack. Because I started messing around, tinkering with the wheels here, and I'm like, why is there this play there, right? So I pulled the front steering block off and get down in there. And here, the steering rack rods, the two pins that stick up that hold your servo saver and all that, it had all those loosened up, but the Loctite kept the screw looking locked into the chassis, but they were all loosened up. So all the steering blocks were completely flopping around. But it was hard to tell because the steering block looked like everything was keeping center, but you can only tell because the bottom was rocking. I don't know if it's making any sense, or you guys can imagine what I'm saying. But anyway, finally figured out and got all of it tightened up. And I mean, the turning on it and everything is back to normal, and it feels really good again. So I'm excited to take this thing back out again. But I did that, and I adjusted my brake strength because I realized my brake strength was way too low. Coming into corners with this thing, I wasn't able to stop right. I kind of fine-tuned everything last night. Well, after I did, I chucked the 4S battery in this thing. All these tires are completely hard-packed with dirt, right? I take it a rip down through the garage, turn around, and floor it for a second, and it felt like somebody launched, well, I don't want to say shot me with a shotgun because, like, obviously it hurt a lot more, but my whole entire garage, all you heard was all these pieces of dirt that all shot out of these tires flew everywhere. It made the biggest mess. I was sitting down here sweeping and cleaning off everything forever. So, moral of the story is, don't spin these tires if they're packed full of dirt unless you're outside. Because you will have a massive mess to clean up. What's going on, Earl? Yeah, Bars&tone lives again. You know, 1 minute, I don't get on the live stream for a few months because, well, like I was saying, with work and everything else, I just didn't even have a moment to breathe. And now I'm on here 3 days in a row. How about that? But yeah, finally got the Techno though now all set up how I wanted it. The brake strength, I at first didn't think I wanted a ton of brake, and then after running, especially that tighter indoor course, man, I mean, you come off a jump and you're immediately, I mean, as soon as you're landing, you're having to lock on the brakes, and I was not able to stop in time, and I would bounce off the plastic piping stuff that marks everything off, and I'm bouncing off of that, and I needed to turn up the brake strength that night, but I didn't get into it because I was having steering issues and I couldn't figure out what was going on with it. I thought I fixed it for a moment, but now that I find out what was causing it, at least now it's fixed. But yeah, so we got this all ready to rip, and I'm hoping this Thursday, either this Wednesday or Thursday. I'm thinking about, honestly, this Wednesday they do practices. They do pre-race practice, basically. And that's what I was up there for last week. I didn't even know it. I thought we were just up there during practice, but it was pre-race practice. Basically, everybody that was coming up to race that night, you had the afternoon to practice beforehand. And that's who I was kind of running around with. So I'm thinking about maybe this Wednesday again, going up and trying it and going up and racing this thing for the first time and seeing how I do. I was racing around, and a couple guys up there told me that I should have stuck around and raced. I was doing good. Whether or not they were just being nice, I don't know, but I was having fun, and that's all that matters. Hey, if I come in last place, who cares? It was fun. I'm enjoying just kind of going up and getting to experience and have fun with another side of the hobby besides out bashing or speed running or rock crawling or whatever it is, going out and running the tracks. It's a good time, and everybody at the tracks so far that I've been running into and talking to, been really nice people. I mean, everybody's been super nice, super helpful, real friendly. There's a couple guys, and I'm kind of learning the ones, especially up there, that take things a little too seriously. If you skid into their car, they kind of give you the stink eye. Those type of people, and I get it. I mean, everybody puts, I have a lot of money invested into that Techno. If somebody lands on it and damages something, is it going to be like, bummer? Yeah. Am I going to get mad or and freak out at them? Absolutely not. I mean, that's part of it. Some of these people up there, I've noticed, they're a little bit too high strung with their cars. I mean, they're cars, guys. They're fun. But I get it. People invest, you invest a lot of money into it, and sometimes, but it's going to happen. So you would think that people would realize that that's part of the practice and racing, that you're going to hit into each other, you're going to wreck, somebody might land on top of you. Just going to have to get over it. What do we got in here? Jip, you're using the M2C chassis in the Techno. Yeah, or I started checking out last night. I went upstairs. I started watching stuff. Seeing your MT410 build you're doing now. That thing, I think it's going to be a really fun truck, Earl. I think it's going to be awesome. What electronics are you putting at it, if you don't mind me asking, Earl? I don't know if you want to reveal that or not, but... Yeah, Guy and a Moose. That's what... and Earl, I'm not trying to, but I'm honestly putting some serious thought into buying one of those MT410s and building one of those with, you know, a hobby wing combo of some sort in it and bash that thing. Because, like I said, I really want to build something again. I really enjoyed building that. So I'm thinking about trying one of those trucks, because I feel bad at all bashing that ET48. Even when we were at the track, and you guys will see during the video, I had a few clips of it. You know, after we got done kind of doing more of constant laps, everybody started kind of goofing around at one point, and we're doing this little high jump competition off this one ramp, and I mean, me and this one dude were skying. I forget what he was using. I think it was either Losi 8 or Techno EB48, something along those lines, and me and him were skying him off this one ramp. I mean, it did more of an air time, and every time it come down, I'm just like, I should not be doing that to this car. But it was fun. It was fun. Best lipos for X-Max. Well, it all depends on... Oh, nice. Doing a castle in there. That thing should rip pretty good. The batteries I have been running in the X-Max that I have had really good luck with. I think these are the ones. Yeah. Now both of these are both the ones that I have been running in mine. I'll throw in the overhead. Are these 6500 milliamp 100C Power Hobby lipos? I've been really liking these, and the great thing is the thickness. You can see the thickness. Now this is a 6500 milliamp 100C. One's a little bit longer than the other, as you can tell. Maybe. There's front to back. You can kind of see it's about, I don't know, an inch longer than the Power Hobby, the Sochin. But these Sochin batteries are cheap. And honestly, they hold up really well. I've had really good luck with these batteries. The Power Hobbies, though, the one thing I like about these is they fit in the battery compartment perfect as far as height. You don't have any slop up and down. The battery compartment on top slides in there perfect. I'll show you real quick. What the heck, guys? We're not doing anything else, right? I'll bring the old X-Max over here, and I'll show you what I'm talking about. Dalton, I think the Red Cat is completely garbage. Give me about $450 for the roller. Yeah, the ET48 was, I think I paid, what, $650 for the car, and then I had another, oh geez, I think another $300 or $350 in the ESC and motor, and then $150 for the servo. That Techno, I wanted to build a nice race buggy. But that thing got expensive, but it was fun, and I really liked the car. So anyway, here is the battery compartment on the X-Max. But just do bash racing. Yeah, I know, B2. That's the thing. I'm not interested in sitting there having to fine-tune these cars. Like, I will go to the racetrack and do some races. I'm going to go there with how I just think is set up okay. I'm going to run there. If I do good, I do good. If I, come in last place, who cares? I'm just going to go up and enjoy that side of it. But as far as getting into it seriously and having to sit there and get crazy with tuning, no, I'm not. I'm not probably going to be doing that. So here's the Sochin, whatever you want to pronounce it. Obviously, the battery compartments in the X-Max are pretty long. This, you still even have some room as far as distance. Now, this is a 6500 milliamp, obviously. But as you can see, maybe, there is a gap in here still. The battery moves around, right? This has been the thing I liked about using the Power Hobby, and especially if I'm going to be out there launching this thing. that I don't want the battery slapping around in here is that they're a little bit shorter, which I just always slide them towards the front because usually that's going to be the way your impact is going to happen, is on the front end. Majority of the times you do have some rear end landings. But the Power Hobby in here, the 6500 milliamp, you slide that in there and it hugs that battery absolutely perfect. You cannot move that battery at all. It doesn't smash down on it really. It perfectly hugs that thing. So that's why I've been liking running these Power Hobby batteries in this thing. I mean, still with the 6500 milliamps, you get a lot of runtime on it. I mean, the 100C, it's got tons of power. I've been enjoying running these batteries in this thing. But if I run these, if I'm going to be bashing this thing hard, I will usually put some sort of spacer on the top to keep it from sitting there smacking and slamming around. So that's my opinion on the batteries. I'm going to hit that then. Thank you, GURC. I appreciate that, buddy. Michael Marshall, how's it going? How's it going, Cyril Jones? Good, buddy. In here working on a few things, kind of talking now. We got most of the stuff done that we were doing. We did some work on the new Maxx V2 and a few upgrades on that. We put the locking hubs on the new Mojave back here. So we got the Mojave kind of all set up, and it's pretty much ready for its first rip now. And we got a whole ton of parts to put the Creighton 8S back together, which I'm kind of hesitant, not hesitant, but not exactly in a giant rush to, but I need to. I know I'll get bored one of these evenings and start tearing into it. But I got the front bulkhead here. I started putting it together. I started getting this thing together. I put the new bulkhead on it, but obviously the A-arm was shattered. So I kind of stopped at that point because I had to get the front and rear hinge pin braces and get the A-arms on this thing before I could fully assemble this, so I just stopped. But now that we got all of this goodies with the RPM A-arms, and we got the front steering block. I had to get that directly from Arma. This is for the Typhon. And then we got all the M2C goodies for this thing because all the steering blocks, or not all the steering block, but all the hinge pin blocks on this whole front end exploded. I mean, every one of them came out in pieces. It even did this to the aluminum. This was the front aluminum block. And I don't know if you can see, this hole here is somewhat normal. But that one, it got completely ripped and ovaled out. So it had some damage done to that thing. Because this is the old bulkhead that came out. This was the front, well, yeah, the front part of the hinge pin brace area would be. It's, as you can see, it's completely shattered and blown apart. The back one's split off and ripped apart. So it needed a little bit of work. So we're going to change all these out and get all the M2C racing parts onto this thing for the front hinge pins and braces and the RPM A-arms, and get this sucker back together again so we get the Creighton 8S in one piece again and moving. Guru. Oh, yeah, I guess. Yeah, I know. I guess whenever I look at you, I see goo, period, dot, ooh. But yes, guru. Sorry, buddy. What do we got? Yeah, the X-Max, man. I enjoy the X-Max. It's a lot of fun. This truck has taken a lot of changes recently with power system. This one, my X-Max, it has the Maxx V2 combo in there with the 1100 kV Hobby Wing combo. It's running 30-50 gearing and tons of other little upgrades and goodies to it. It's been a really fun truck. And we recently just got that new the M2C Racing center brace on the bottom of that thing. So I'm excited to take it out and give that thing a testing too. But I think this will be for one of these evenings. When I got nothing else to do, I will tear this thing apart and get it put back together. So, not doing that at the moment. That's one of those moments where you just turn on the radio, grab a drink, and, you know, work slowly, because I got so many bits and screws and so many pieces that came out of it. When I was at the track, pieces were falling off of it and screws were falling out of it, and I just kind of gathered everything up and threw it in my truck and brought it home. So, I mean, all the screws are still filled with dirt. I got just a lot of little miscellaneous cleaning and stuff to get this thing back together again, because she took a nasty hit. But I think everything else is pretty much ready to go back together finally. So, start working on that, and we'll do the hot racing differential on the Mojave in another day. But I wanted to get the bulkhead so that as soon as I was ready to change it out and shim it, I would do that. I did check. I pulled the case off and I checked the shim on it, and the differentials honestly felt really tight, especially on the rear. So I wasn't real concerned about changing this out immediately, because I'm not planning on going out and launching that thing 40 feet in the air immediately in the cold. So I figure I'll hold off a couple runs before I change and put the hot racing bulkhead on this thing. But it will be going on the Mojave for sure. But nothing yet. It hasn't broke, but maybe if I get any other big bash, I'm debating if I should get the X Max or the Mojave. Well, I can't speak on the Mojave yet. I mean, I know Earl. I know he has a couple of them. I'm sure he could chime in on this. I mean, the Mojave seems like it's going to be a great truck. But between, you know, large scale, you know, it's considered a fifth, sixth scale, whatever you want to call them. Between the X Max and the Outcast 8S that I have down here, with its all set up, I mean, I honestly love my Outcast 8S. I mean, that truck is just awesome. Love that truck. It's just got the perfect weight, power ratio to that thing, and it just handles and jumps like a dream. What's up, Jay Boogie? Hey, Bars. Hello to the RC community. Just wanted to drop in and smash the like. You're going to love the Mojave. She's a great thing. Thanks, buddy. I appreciate you dropping in, man. Really do. What's up, Struckins? Struckin trees. I was strucking poles with the Creighton. I like to run a packed seat in the gears before checking. Yeah, I mean, it is good because, yeah, you're right and true about that, too. I mean, it is good to run them to kind of get everything to seat into its normal place, and then you can kind of get a better feel of, you know, how everything is in the distant or the gaps, if you have any slop in there in the differentials. But, you know, like I said, I put that hot racing diff on every. I pay for all my parts from Hot Racing, guys. But I mean, their differential, their rear diff cases have saved so many of my diffs in these cars. I have them on every single one. The Outcast, the Italian, both of my Creighton 6S's, the Typhon 6S. All of them have, in the Outcast 6S, they all have the Hot Racing differential case on the back. And, like, I haven't had to deal with the differential problem in ages. Just, it becomes a problem of the past once you get that plastic, flimsy bulkhead that, you know, they either track or under those heavy landings, they twist a little bit. You lose that tolerance, and the gears, they start to strip. And as soon as you start to shave off those teeth on the outside, it just continues to do it more and more until you get that lovely sound when you hit the trigger. But anyway, guys, I just figured tonight to bring you along for a little bit while I was doing a few upgrades to the Maxx and messing around with the Mojave. But I think I'm going to probably call it a night and go upstairs and grab a bite to eat and probably play some Call of Duty for a little bit. But I hope you guys all enjoyed it, and thanks for dropping in. Converting my X Max 6S to 8S. Should I get the Maxx 6 or Maxx 5? Yes, see. I mean, what do you... I mean, obviously the Maxx 6 it's gonna be smaller, and you'll be able to fit it in there, and you'll be able to. I'm pretty sure you can mount the Maxx 6 down low, with that whole setup. So it probably wouldn't be bad. And I think Duper Bash, Rich, if I'm not mistaken, is running the Maxx 6 with a 1650 in his X Max at the moment. Because I know that he kind of went away from the larger electronics and wanted to try that out. And Freddie was telling me, he said that he was really liking it. It had a really nice light feel to it. So, I mean, it all depends on kind of what you're looking for. I mean, like I put the Maxx 5 in there because I just wanted to, put something ridiculous in that truck. I mean, and it is. I mean, with the Maxx 5 with the 1100 kV motor, I mean, that thing is just, it's insane. I mean, the power you got on that thing. I mean, you can gear that thing, and it don't matter what position of the trigger you're at. You can bring that thing up and wheelie backwards or do standing backflips. It's it's overkill. I will admit that and say that it's overkill. But that's what I wanted to make, and it was kind of fun. Robert Stewart. Thank you, RC Master. I appreciate that. I'm just trying to see if there's any other comments here before we call it an evening. Well, Cyrus Jones, it continues to grow, man. I mean, it all started out with mine. I had one truck, just kind of messing around, having some fun, and it just escalated and escalated. And it went from one car to two cars to, I think, three. It just continued to grow up to, like I said, now I have, 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16. Yeah, 18 cars, a boat, and a helicopter. And 4 tanks. But the tanks they're little tanks. You guys will see them at some point. But it just continues to grow. Thank you for dropping in, Earl. Thank you guys, everybody, for stopping in tonight. I appreciate it. Yeah, we will be doing. I'm going to try to continue to do some lives as things go on. I have some other stuff coming in. Some parts coming for the Typhon 6S. I thought they were going to come today, but they didn't show up. But I have some upgrades coming for the Typhon and some stuff coming for the Italian. That when those come in the next day or two, I'll probably throw the camera up here. We'll do another live while we do the upgrades of that stuff. And while I'm home and get some time here and have some fun, I'll try to do more lives, and we can sit here and chat and have some fun while people are at work or sitting on the toilet. We got everybody everywhere. But I appreciate y'all stopping in tonight. Really thank you guys. But that's going to do it. So, we'll see you on the next one, guys. But until next time, y'all be safe. Be careful out there. Peace out, everybody.